Hey guys, me again. I'm going to do a quick video today on Nazi terror and the police state. It's a really important part of Nazi Germany and Hitler's Germany to be able to understand how the Nazis were able to control the people in Germany. If we take away the side that a lot of Germans were relatively appreciative of the Nazis and supported them, there are other aspects of that which we need to understand. There's been a lot of literature and a lot of research done into, did German people fully support the Nazis, or were they coerced, or did they do this because of fear? If we deal with fear and terror, I think that's a really important one to begin with. People ultimately were scared. They didn't want to, they wanted to keep their heads down. They didn't want to put their head above the parapet. They are fearful of what might happen to them and their families if they did oppose the Nazis. But opposition is a separate point, and that can be dealt with later. Now, the four key areas of controlling the German people, or four methods used by the Nazis, is the SS, the Gestapo, the police, and the court system, and also the concentration camps. Concentration camps are instruments of fear and terror. People don't want to end up in the concentration camps. It's not a nice place. It begins in 1933 with Dachau, not far from Munich. It was a model concentration camp which they later based others on. The first people to end up in the concentration camps were political opponents, who we know under Article 48, Hitler was able to arrest and imprison 4,000 communists in the preceding days after the Reichstag fire. Now, the political opponents are the ones who end up in the concentration camps first. Communists are banned. Trade unionists and their leaders are also put in concentration camps. It's a brutal place to be. You're given a number, not a name. Given a uniform, your head is shaved, and you're taught subservience and how to work. To begin with, they didn't kill people per se. I mean, people were beaten to death. But ultimately, it was a place for re-education where people would learn how to be good German citizens. So it's more of a for want of a better word, a prison 2.0, they scaled it up. Some people were released back into society after serving time in a concentration camp, but later on, concentration camp death rates rose when it became full of not just communists, socialists, trade unionists, and church clergymen. Obviously, Jews and gypsies and homosexuals later joined the people in the concentration camps. So fear of concentration camps was one of the reasons why people didn't oppose Nazis and on the face of it supported them. Secondly, the People's Courts. Roland Freisler, Reich judge, one of Hitler's favourites. Now, he was famous for his scathing remarks of those he was passing sentence on. He was killed eventually in a bombing raid in 1945. But Roland Freisler is the embodiment of the Nazi courts. If you were a Nazi on trial, you'd get a very lenient sentence, and commonly courts would ignore Nazi's crimes. If you were anti-Nazi and you're on trial for, among other things, saying a joke about Nazis or for treason, for example, you'd be given incredibly harsh punishments such as death. The Nazis brought back the guillotine to execute political dissidents and people they'd accused of treason for. So the court, you wouldn't receive a fair trial. A lot of people weren't allowed witnesses to back them up, or even lawyers to help prove their innocence. That's banned. The SS. Now, the SS started in the mid-1920s as loyal fanatics towards Adolf Hitler. They later become his personal bodyguard. And they're not to be confused with the SA, the Sturmabteilung, who are very different. The SS are very different entirely. They're pure Aryans, not just hired thugs, which is what the SA are. The SS are highly trained, fanatically loyal to Hitler, and later become their own mini-state within Nazi Germany. They pretty much destroy the SA in 1934, and after that really are at the forefront of Nazi ideology in German public. They have several sections. The Waffen-SS is the army version, or the army within the SS. It's very good soldiers. They're quite feared by the Allies because they were fanatically loyal and a little bit crazy on the battlefield. The Einsatzgruppen, the death head squads, these are the people in charge of the death camps and going around shooting and killing undesirables, Untermenschen. So the SS, under the command of Heinrich Himmler, became an incredibly powerful and incredibly feared organisation in Germany. If you were a loyal Nazi, or if you were a Nazi member, being part of the SS was really what you wanted to be. It was shown kind of privilege and a good standard of, it's the mark of a true Nazi to be a member of the SS. The other aspect is the Gestapo. The Gestapo is important to remember, is under the command of Reinhard Heydrich. Now Heydrich was Himmler's deputy. The security services, the SD and the Gestapo, are very important for creating fear among the German people. There was actually less of the Gestapo than the German people thought. They thought there was informants everywhere. But people feared the Gestapo because they didn't know who was a member of the secret police. They had huge amounts of power to arrest and imprison and put people in concentration camps without even telling them why they're being arrested. So these powers of, telling people, you're innocent until proven guilty are just gone. Personal liberties have ceased to exist. So you could be arrested. You're fearful of just disappearing, of saying a joke about the Nazis to a mate, only to find that friend of yours was actually an informant of the Gestapo, and you're going to knock at 3 in the morning and you're taken out of bed and disappear in the concentration camp system. So the Gestapo is an incredibly important part of creating fear and anxiety within Germans. So those are the 4 main areas: the Gestapo, the SS, the People's Court, and the concentration camp system, for instilling people a police state and creating fear with the Germans. So even if you weren't pro-Nazis, you weren't for them, you were certainly not willing to oppose them for fear of ending up in a concentration camp or ending up in front of Roland Freisler and the People's Court. There's a very brief rundown of the police state and Nazi terror. There's a huge amount more to look into, so that's just a brief rundown of it. But use it, revise it, and learn it. See you next time.